One tab, two tabs, three tabs. You close one, you close another, you close the last one. Something is still alive. This is SharedWorker. It's been hiding in your browser since 2010. Most developers simply forgot about it, and now it's about to completely change how you think about tabs. Quick question. How many tabs do you have open right now? Don't lie, we both know it's embarrassing. Here's what most developers don't think about. Every single tab is its own isolated JavaScript universe, its own memory heap, its own event loop, its own execution context. Tabs are not roommates, they're strangers living in the same city who have never met. And here's where it gets painful. Open 3 tabs of your real-time app. Now you, sir, just open 3 separate WebSocket connections to your backend for one user. Your team is somewhere right now staring at the CloudWatch graph, wondering why connection counts scale linearly with users who just like having tabs open. It's you. You're the problem. And it gets worse. When tab 1 receives new data from the server, tabs 2 and 3 don't know. They're still showing stale state, old prices, old messages, old everything. Each tab is living in its own timeline. It's basically the multiverse, except less fun, and nobody's wearing a superhero suit. The solutions developers reach for are, let's say, creative. The local storage trick. It writes to the local storage, listen for the storage event in other tabs. It works. It's also the duct tape of browser APIs. BroadcastChannel is cleaner, but it's just a message bus. You can't store state in it, you can't hold a WebSocket in it, you can't run logic in it. It's a megaphone, not a brain. We've been hacking around a problem that the browser already solved. We just never opened the right box. Enter SharedWorker. Think of it as the Yoda of your browser. Small, ancient, incredibly powerful, and inexplicably ignored by most developers. That one line, that's it. That's the whole trick. When tab 1 runs this, a worker is born. When tab 2 runs the exact same line, it doesn't create a new worker. It joins the existing one. Same script URL, same origin equals same instance. The browser guarantees this. 0 dependencies, 0 config, 0 npm install, just vibes. Let's actually build this, because the API has a quirk that trips everyone up the first time. There are 2 files, the worker which runs once, and your main code which runs in each tab. They're not the same, they don't share the same global scope. You cannot do document.query selector in a worker, there is no document, there is no window. The worker lives outside the DOM entirely. It's like a JavaScript monk, isolated, disciplined, no distractions, just pure computation. Here's the key insight. The worker doesn't talk to tabs in general, it talks to ports. Every time a new tab connects, the worker receives a new message port object, a dedicated two-way pipe just for that tab. The worker collects all these ports in an array. When it wants to broadcast, it just loops through every port and posts the message. Tab 1 sends a message, it arrives at the worker fans it out to every connected port, every open tab gets it immediately. It's one of those times in software where the fastest solution is also the simplest. The worker is stateful. Whatever you store in it lives there until the worker dies. Variables, open connections, running intervals, all of it persists. Enough theory. Let's talk about where this actually earns its keep. Scenario, you're building stuff that updates every second. Without SharedWorker, a user with 5 tabs open has punched 5 separate holes in your server, 5 WebSocket handshakes, 5 keep alive heartbeat messages every 30 seconds, 5 reconnection storms when the network hiccups. With SharedWorker, it's one connection. The worker holds it, all tabs tap into it, the backend sees one user with one connection, the way God intended. It's the Thanos approach to JavaScript, perfectly balanced. I've sold you the dream. Now it's time for the terms and conditions section, because every browser API has one, and SharedWorker's lawyers were particularly busy. The biggest catch, the most popular browser on the most popular operating system, still doesn't support it. Chrome on Android, nope. Samsung Internet, nope. Android Web View, also nope. If you're building primarily for mobile users, SharedWorker isn't your architecture, it's your optimization. A very nice optimization, but not your foundation. You need a fallback. BroadcastChannel is usually the least painful option. You lose the shared state, you lose the shared connection, but you keep cross-tab communication. Think of it as SharedWorker's younger cousin, less powerful, more universally invited to family gatherings. Then comes the moment every developer experiences. You write the code, you wire up the ports, you open 2 tabs, nothing happens, no messages, no errors, no worker, you open DevTools, still nothing. At this point you're convinced SharedWorker is either broken or a collective hallucination. Turns out the problem is simpler. SharedWorkers don't live where you expect. Chrome hides them in. Chrome/inspect hash workers. Firefox hides them in. about colon debugging, which raises an important question. Why is one of the most useful browser debugging tools hidden behind what looks like a secret level in a video game? Nobody knows. But once you get there, it's actually great. You can inspect state, watch console logs, even attach a debugger. The hardest part is discovering that it exists. To SharedWorker, they need to be on same protocol, same host, and same port. Localhost 3000 and localhost 3001 are different origins. HTTP and HTTPS versions of the same domain are different origins. They will not SharedWorker. This is by design. It's a security boundary, but it will catch you off guard the first time you set up a dev environment with a front-end port and an API port and wonder why nothing is connecting. Let's zoom out and place SharedWorker in the full browser worker ecosystem, because these three APIs confuse everyone, and mixing them up is how you end up on Stack Overflow at midnight. WebWorker, your personal assistant, runs in the background of one tab, doing heavy lifting, so the main thread doesn't stutter. The tab dies, the worker dies. SharedWorker, the company intranet. Every tab can plug in, exchange data, and live. It's the connective tissue between tabs. Service worker, the man in the middle that you actually want. It intercepts all network requests, enables offline mode, handles push notifications. It's basically a programmable proxy server living inside your browser. They're not alternatives to each other, they solve different problems at different layers. One more thing, and this is fresh. Chrome is currently running an origin trial for extended lifetime shared workers. Remember that rule? Worker dies when the last tab closes. The new extended lifetime option lets the worker survive briefly after all tabs close, long enough to flash analytics, save state to IndexedDB, send a final server request. Think of it as the difference between a sick kill and a sick term. The worker gets a chance to say goodbye. This is aimed at analytics providers, real-time apps, anything that can't afford to lose data on abrupt tab close. The API is evolving. The use cases are clearly real. SharedWorker isn't a forgotten relic. It's being actively invested in. SharedWorker shipped in 2010. 15 years later, most developers still don't know it exists, which is honestly impressive. Somewhere right now, a real-time dashboard is opening 5 WebSocket connections for one user. An analytics system is counting the same event 3 times. A laptop fan is preparing for takeoff, and a backend engineer is wondering why infrastructure costs keep climbing. Meanwhile, a browser API from 2010 is sitting quietly in the corner, doing absolutely nothing, waiting for somebody to use it. One worker, one shared brain, one connection. As many tabs as you want, SharedWorker, the browser tab that never really dies. If this made you question every multi-tab feature you've ever built, good. That feeling is called learning, and there are a lot more browser APIs hiding in plain sight. Now this information is definitely 8 points. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching.